The world now contains more people who are obese than malnourished. This reminds us that the planet has enough food, and its lack is usually caused by human sin. Jesus was accused of being a glutton and a drunkard by his enemies because he accepted so many invitations to meals. So it's surprising that the epistles regard greed and gluttony as a very serious sin, listed alongside sexual immorality and idolatry. The actual word gluttony is only used at 1 Peter when translating komos, which can also be translated as an orgy. Roman orgies were famous for their overindulgence. Middle and upper class Romans spent a large proportion of their day eating and planning to eat. Lavish meals, often with entertainment, were the chief form of leisure and could last for hours. Meals bonded together business partners and political connections and friends and family. And along with the food came copious drink. Wives weren't often invited to traditional banquets, so the host could provide hired women for after-meal exercise. So when Paul and Peter referred to this type of meal called a komos, they accurately associated them with sexual immorality and with drunkenness. So gluttony, translated from komos, refers to something much worse than overeating. Paul did also refer to a different kind of greed. He used the word pleonektes, which is avariceness or grasping, and this usually referred to seeking money and power rather than food. So where does the sin of gluttony come from? Gluttony didn't become a severe sin until the writings of the Church Fathers in the first few centuries after the New Testament. They promoted it to a mortal or deadly sin, by which they meant that one which caused you to lose your salvation. Of course, only severe gluttony was mortal. Aquinas defines this as a type of gluttony that causes you to break other laws of God in order to consume more. And he warns that this includes not just gluttony for food, but also for alcohol, and no doubt today he'd include drugs. Lesser overconsumption was still regarded as a sin, though not mortal, so that Augustine confessed to God that he sometimes ate until he was full. Greed for money and power, which Paul condemns, have to be regarded as most serious sins. However, overeating itself is not regarded as sinful in the Bible, and it only became a sin when the church was influenced by asceticism in the early centuries. Nowadays, our view of gluttony is similar to that in Proverbs. Drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. We regard it as a moral failure that will lead to ill health, if not poverty. But our approach to food is complex. We celebrate things by having a big meal, and we look for something to eat as soon as we feel the slightest hunger. However, we are also constantly trying to lose weight. This implies a self-centered approach. We eat, we diet. The New Testament world was more community-based. Greed was bad if it robbed the poor of scarce food, and mealtimes were good because they were social occasions for cementing friendships. If we applied that community principle today, we might decide to only eat meals when in company. This means we would eat less often, and we would regularly invite poorer friends, who are often also lonely, to our meals. This would solve so many problems for ourselves and for others. God bless you.